The night they told me was strangely ordinary. My mother had made chicken and rice. My father was reading something on his phone between bites. My brother kept checking the time because he had somewhere to be afterward. It didn't feel like the kind of dinner where someone's future was about to be quietly reassigned. My father cleared his throat halfway through the meal and said they'd made a decision about the college funds. There were 2 accounts when we were kids, one for each of us. My parents liked to talk about how hard they worked to build them. It was supposed to mean security, equal footing, but now the conversation had a different tone. My brother had been accepted to a private university. Expensive. Competitive. A real opportunity. My father said. The fund they'd built for him wasn't enough. So they were combining them. My mother said it carefully, like she expected resistance, but believed the explanation would fix it. "You're practical," she told me. "You'll figure it out." That was the phrase that stayed with me. Not "will help you figure it out." Just "you will." My brother said nothing. He just stared at the table, half embarrassed, half relieved. My parents kept talking about logistics, about how life wasn't always perfectly fair, but families had to make strategic choices. I realized something halfway through their explanation. They weren't asking. The decision had already been made. The money was already gone. When the conversation ended, my father asked if I understood. I said yes. And in a way I did. Figuring it out wasn't dramatic. There was no single moment where everything changed. It was mostly paperwork. I enrolled at the local community college because the tuition was manageable. I worked nights at a grocery store stocking shelves. I applied for scholarships constantly. Some worked out, most didn't. My life became a sequence of small adjustments. I learned which professors stayed late after class. I learned how to fill out financial aid forms without mistakes. I learned how to stretch a meal across 2 days. My parents would call sometimes. They'd ask how school was going, but the calls always circled back to my brother. His dorm, his classes, his internship opportunities. The investment was progressing. I didn't argue about it anymore. There didn't seem to be a point. Distance grew quietly after that. Not through some dramatic family explosion, just fewer visits, shorter conversations, long stretches where none of us seemed to notice the silence. Years passed. My brother graduated from the expensive university with a degree that sounded impressive but didn't seem to lead anywhere specific. Meanwhile, I transferred to a state school, finished my degree slowly. Took internships most people didn't want because they paid something instead of nothing. None of it looked remarkable at the time. But careers built on persistence sometimes move differently than the ones built on expectation. By my early 30s, I had a stable position in a consulting firm that specialized in operational restructuring for mid-sized companies. It wasn't flashy work, but it paid well. More importantly, I understood it. The systems, the decisions, the slow ways organizations drift into problems, and the even slower ways they recover. My independence had become quiet but solid. My parents started calling more often around that time. The tone had changed, warmer, curious. They asked about my projects, my apartment, my travel schedule. Eventually the questions became more specific. How well does consulting actually pay? You must be doing pretty well by now. Then one afternoon my mother said something that made the earlier dinner feel suddenly present again. Family helps family. She said it casually, as if we were continuing a conversation that had never been properly finished. 2. The moment things shifted happened in a conference room. My parents had asked if I would attend a meeting with them and a financial advisor. They said they wanted guidance about retirement planning. I agreed. The advisor sat across from us with a laptop open, asking standard questions about assets, debts, future obligations. At some point my father gestured toward me. "Our daughter's done very well for herself," he said. "She's in consulting." The advisor nodded politely and asked a neutral question. "Are you financially contributing to your parents' long-term planning?" The room went quiet. It wasn't a confrontational question. Just a factual one. But suddenly everyone was looking at me. For a second I remembered that dinner years ago, the chicken and rice. The phrase "you'll figure it out." I answered the same way I answer clients when they ask something direct. Calmly, "My finances are allocated to my own long-term plans," I said. "I'm not contributing to external obligations." The advisor typed something into the laptop and moved to the next question. The conversation continued. But the atmosphere had changed. Not dramatically, just unmistakably. After the meeting, my parents walked with me to the parking lot. My mother looked confused more than angry. "With thought," she started, then stopped. My father tried a different approach. "You're doing very well now," he said carefully. "It wouldn't hurt you to help a little." I didn't argue. There wasn't much left to debate. "I did figure it out," I said. Neither of them responded. "I learned how to manage risk," I continued. "And the reward that comes with it." My mother sighed quietly. "You're still our daughter." I know, and that was true. But something had changed years ago at that dinner table. Something that never fully reversed. We said goodbye after that. No shouting, no accusations. Just a different understanding of what family meant. The strange part is that I'm not angry anymore. What happened forced me to build a life that belonged entirely to me. The independence they assumed I'd manage became real, and when the moment finally came to answer their expectations, I didn't need to be bitter or dramatic. I just needed to be consistent. After all, figuring things out means carrying both sides of the outcome. Even the part where the answer is no.